Don't engage, because if you get arrested for anything else, you'll be locked up in jail until your trial.
Okay, I just want to, just real quick.
Mr. Watson, please don't make any statements. You and I can talk about it. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I'll make sure your bond is arranged. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so the Wes Watson downfall continues. At this point, it's like every day things just continue to get worse for him, and now it looks like he could be heading back to jail. But at least it's not all bad, because this might give him an excuse to start hooping paperwork again. So that's something for him to look forward to. You know, I think he was starting to miss the days of hooping paperwork and butthole checks. Like, that's probably what he was trying to ask the judge about before his lawyer rudely interrupted him. You know, I think he's just politely trying to ask if there's any paperwork he gets to shove up his ass.
And you get copies of your 128G, which is your paperwork. You put a glove around it 3 or 4 times, you twist it up, and you shove it up your ass.
And do you just stop thinking about it after a while?
Yeah, then you go to the next place, you shit out, you got your paperwork, and now you don't have to wait for it.
So I got to show them. They want to see. They only know you by your butt on there. They see my face, and they're like, oh, who are you again? And then I just bend over, I show them the oh, Wes Watson, how you doing, bro? What's up? Nice to meet you again.
Yeah, so at least Wes has that to look forward to, depending on what happens with his case. But right now, it looks pretty bad for him. He was charged with assault and battery because him and his goons beat up this hater who showed up at the gym Wes was at, after Wes had spent months begging people to show up and challenge him. So finally somebody did. You know, he got what he's asking for. This was his big moment to prove how tough he is. But instead, he proved he's a coward, because instead of having a fair one-on-one fight, he got scared because he claims the guy wasn't a normal-looking dude and he was 7 feet tall. So Wes decided to use a weight belt as a weapon, and his goons jumped in to help him. Like, one of them hit him in the back of the head when he wasn't looking and then held him on the ground while Wes punched him, because I guess they just knew Wes couldn't handle it himself, which is just so embarrassing. I mean, Wes has been talking all this shit about how tough he is, and he's been telling people to show up, and finally somebody did, and he had a chance to prove how tough he is. But I guess he got all scared and feared for his life and is now trying to play the victim. Like, this man is so pathetic. I mean, after it happened, he started crying about how he gets death threats all the time. So he was acting like he thought if somebody shows up to confront him, that means they have a gun and they're there to kill him. And obviously I don't condone people sending him death threats, and that guy was an idiot for showing up at the gym. But if Wes was so concerned about this, then maybe he shouldn't have been giving out the address to the gym he's at and the time he'll be there and begging people to show up and fight him. I mean, he desperately wanted this to happen. Like, he had been telling people to show up for months, and he was getting pissed that people weren't showing up.
If you're too stupid to figure out where I'm at and just pull up and handle your business, then I'm going to give you the exact directions. 9 a.m. any weekday, 8 a.m. on the weekends, 16:20. And everybody who sits there calling a motherfucker out, I gave you the address. Don't, if you swear there's going to be an issue about telling gym people or anything, follow me out of the gym. It will just be me, and I will serve you pussies so bad, it'll be the worst thing you ever did. Nobody pulled up. We're in the parking lot. We walked in. Here again. Nobody's here. Where are they? I'm going to be here every day. Kind of sucks. I heard some fictional stories online that one of these guys was going to show up here on Saturday at 8 a.m. and nobody's here. I was going to get a BJ before Arm Day, but fuck, now I just got to go hit arms. Thought it was going to be baby arm day.
So finally somebody decided to take him up on that offer. You know, they showed up at his gym, and they're obviously trying to start shit with him, which again is stupid. And I would even say the beginning of this could be seen as self-defense, but once the guy was on the ground, he was clearly just trying to protect himself. Like, he wasn't a threat anymore. But Wes, he just went off on him. He threw, I think, over 40 punches and a bunch of kicks when the guy was on his knees. I mean, Wes, he had an opportunity here to get the BJ he was looking for, but instead he did a running soccer kick to the guy's face. Like, it was hard to watch and way too graphic for YouTube, unfortunately. But if you want to see the uncensored version, it's on John Bravo's Twitter account. He's the one that got all the footage, thankfully, because of course Wes was trying to misrepresent what happened. So make sure you check out John Bravo's channel. He does a really good job covering this, and he's the reason we have the footage, which of course Wes didn't want released because he knows how bad this makes him look. Because, you know, if this had made him look tough, like if he actually did have a fair fight with the guy and kicked his ass, then he'd probably want the footage out. But since he looks like a coward here, he's like, no, I don't want to condone violence, which is just hilarious coming from him. I mean, he had already posted a picture to Instagram of his bloody shoe from kicking the guy in the face. But then he'll go on to say he doesn't condone violence.
Guys, I'm not going to glorify the violence. I don't glorify it. I'm not like you guys. I've lived that life my whole life. It's new to you guys. You guys like that shit because you never whoop no ass. I don't condone violence.
And now Wes is trying to act like he never wanted any of this. You know, he didn't want to have to do this to somebody. And it was all just self-defense. And he said the guy was lucky he didn't get shot in the face. So it's just ridiculous. You know, Wes begs all these people to come fight him and calls them pussies for not doing it. But then when somebody finally does, Wes gets all scared because he thinks the guy's there to kill him. And he says he's lucky he didn't get shot in the face. And you know it's bad when even Wes's friend Myron, you know, from Fresh and Fit, he can't even defend this. I mean, he'll go to his grave defending the Tate brothers. But with this, he reacts to the footage and he's like, oh shit, this is really bad. And afterwards, he's like, yeah, Wes doesn't stand a chance in court. There's no way he could prove self-defense.
Kicked him twice. Oh, damn. God damn, Wes. Oh, wow. This is all not good, man. This is all very, very bad. Very, very bad, Chad. Holy fuck. Yeah, man. Man. That is wild. If he goes to trial, he's going to lose. This looks very bad, optically. Very, very bad. And this is a guy that I like. But I'm just being honest with y'all, being unbiased. There's no way he can win a trial if that video and the witness show up. No way. If the video comes in and a witness testifies, it's GG's. Right? There's no way he could justify self-defense at that point. He had 3 friends around him. They used a belt. They used a weapon. He was whooping his ass. He kicked them multiple times. The guy was incapacitated. He could no longer defend himself. You can't use self-defense anymore.
Yeah, so watching that footage, there's no denying Wes got carried away with it. I mean, Myron, he won't even take his side here. And it's funny, Myron, he also is the one that hosted that event Wes embarrassed himself at, which was like the beginning of the end for him. You know, it's been all downhill since then. Like, I think Wes is now starting to go broke. I mean, he basically admitted it. He also had to downgrade his house and lower his course prices. Then after he got arrested, his escort girlfriend left him, or he couldn't afford her or something. And then she deleted all their pictures together, but kept the ones where she's in his Bugatti. Then also from Wes's arrest, we learned that he's really insecure about his height, apparently. He tells everybody that he's 6 feet tall, but on the police report, it says 5'8". And it seems like this is what he's the most embarrassed about. It's so funny. Like, out of all the embarrassing shit he does and says, what gets to him the most is people thinking he's 5'8". Like, it's crazy how much this matters to him. He addressed it multiple times after people started sharing that he's only 5'8". And you would think addressing it would be more humiliating for him than him just accepting that people figured out that he's actually shorter than he claims. I mean, at this point, it seems like he's just trying to make a fool out of himself. Like, he's on Jack Doherty's stream and started talking about how the haters only think he's 5'8". So to prove them wrong, first he took his shoes off to prove he doesn't have lifts in them. Then he stood next to Jack and he's like, see, I'm taller than him and he's 5'8". Even though it sounds like Jack is shorter than 5'8", because when Wes says that, he's like, hopefully I'm that tall. And Wes is like, no, you're that tall, trust me. So it's just absolutely insane to see a grown man acting like this. I mean, this is just so embarrassing. And he made another video too on Instagram where he's with some guy and he's complaining about his haters thinking he's short. And his friend's just like, oh no, dude, screw them. You're 6 feet tall. So him doing this stuff and trying to cope with being shorter is so much more humiliating for him than if he had just accepted being shorter. You know, people wouldn't care that much if he didn't care that much.
We're standing on shoes. I have no lifters in my shoes. These are Chucks. People online say I'm 5'8". Okay, am I 5'8"?
Probably a little taller.
No.
I hope I'm 5'8".
He's 5'8". I'm like fucking 5'11" or 6 foot.
There we go. Yeah, I like that because I don't want to be lower than the 5'8".
No,
part.
the whole point is if he had ate a certain fats, proteins, and carbs. How tall are you? Are you like 5'7" or something?
No. You ain't 5'8", you 6 foot.
Trolls online be looking at some stupid ass, always looking at the negative side of shit. If you listen to people like us, we're successful. We'll teach you how to get there. And we didn't do it the traditional way, looking at like us. So you squares.
Yeah, so this guy never disappoints. He's always making a fool out of himself. It's incredible. I don't know how he does it. Like, he just has absolutely no self-awareness somehow. I mean, you would think after constantly getting gadooshed every day, he would learn from it a little, but I don't think he ever will at this point. And he just continues to embarrass himself for our entertainment. But let me know what you guys think about it, and make sure you check out my Patreon. There are over 120 exclusive videos on there. And I recently just talked about how Joe Rogan's comedy friends have been roasting Elon Musk a lot recently. And I compared that to how Rogan has just been doing the exact opposite and kissing Elon's ass 24/7. So it really shows how big of a sellout Rogan is. And also I've been covering the whole Hawk Tuah downfall saga, which is hilarious. And there's just a ton of other stuff on there. If you enjoy the channel, I highly recommend it. There'll be a link in the description.